Alright, so here's another kind of interesting one we got going on. We're going to be rebuilding this piece here and then line boring, welding this back onto the machine, and then line boring these holes, and then line boring another set of holes for the same machine. So what happened is, this is a Fecon mulcher head that does forestry work out here. I was at another job line boring another piece of equipment, and they kind of saw what I was doing. They knew they needed this line board, but they didn't really know the extent of the damage. You know, this piece pretty much just fell off when we pulled the pin out to check the bores. Someone else had welded on it out in the field a few times. You know, they're just trying to get it back up and running. You know, if you know the forestry industry, that's just kind of how it is. So what I went ahead and did was I told them that because it had been welded on several times with multiple breaks, and when it was broke you could see spider cracking in it, there was really no good way of repairing this properly by just gouging it and welding it. I probably could have, but it would probably break again, and that's not what we want. So we want to do a quality repair. So what I ended up doing was, as you can see, we gouged this off. I don't have any video of that. We're at their shop, just kind of spur of the moment. We just gouged this guy off. I already plasma cut out the new pieces, so we got this piece here. The main piece is 1 inch. Flip it over. It's actually bent from the factory, like right here, 5 inches up from the bottom across. It's bent half an inch bend in it here. So what we'll do, my brake won't do this, but I've got a 500-ton press in the back, and I'm thinking if we put this piece across it and set the machine up, I can bend this pretty easily. Just a half-inch bend, it's not anything crazy. So that way it sits on the machine properly. Then we've got this piece that I already cut out out of 3/4. We got this piece is 1 inch here, and then the piece for the keeper for the shaft is 1/2 inch, and they've been having issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new pin for this as well. Actually 2 new pins, because they've got from factory kind of a weak little bolt, a nut style pin, and they just keep ripping out. As you can see, they're pretty hard on this machine, but yeah, you can kind of see it's been welded several times out in the field by several different people. And then what I went and did was, before I gouged it off, I lined it up and I just kind of tacked it together so I could get the actual bend degree proper, and you know, the length and everything right when I go to make this, and kind of orientate it. You know, it helps a little bit. So that's what we're going to do. I've got the plate set up on the press. I'll set up my camera over there, and we'll kind of just see that, see how difficult it is or easy it is. It should be fairly easy. And then we'll bring it in here, and we're just going to dual shield all these pieces back together pretty quick, and then we'll take it out to the field tomorrow and we'll install it on the machine, on the head anyway, and then we'll go ahead and we'll line bore them, square it all up. I undercut the holes on the new one to, these are supposed to be 2.5 inch pins. I undercut it to 2 1/4, so that way I don't have to weld it. And then we'll just cut it, and then I'll only have to weld the other side and then cut it. It'll make it a little easier, a little faster. So yeah, that's what we'll do. I'll bring you back once we get over there to the press. Alright, so this is kind of what I'm thinking. Got the press, got the bar, 1-inch plate, got our base plates on here. We'll just see if we can bend it. We got 500 tons of do what you're told, so we'll see what happens. See if I can tall enough. Put on our safety glasses. Probably right where we need to be. And put it over here. Straighten out this side here. Put a little bit over here. You can get a lot done with 500 ton, as they say. I don't know if anybody says that. But it is working, did work, so I didn't bring a straight edge over here, so I'm pretty sure that's it. It's not a very big bend, but you can see, I'm pretty sure we have accomplished our goal here. 5 inches up, 1/2 inch there, looks about right. So we'll bring this back to the table and we'll bring you back. Alright, so here we are. We got the old, we got the new. All our pieces on here. That's pretty much what we're going to do. We're going to weld it on there. Couple passes of dual shield here on each side. A couple passes there. Probably one pass here just because it's just a keeper. And then we'll bevel this plate with a torch. And then glue it up, you know. I'm not sure if we'll get to this tomorrow or not. We might weld it in place, but I'm not sure if we will line bore it tomorrow because I got to get some bushings from Caterpillar that are going to fit this. We're actually going to machine this to fit a standard bushing. Fecon had a kind of a weird bushing setup in here. They had a really long shoulder, like almost an inch shoulder here, and then a small little short bushing in the backside. which is pretty worthless if you think about it, because then you're still going to have to line bore this top side because you got a whole inch of material that's wearing the same as your bushing. I don't understand it. So we're going to put a whole bushing in there. That's going to be the whole length of the piece here, or I'll make them. Either way, if they don't have one properly, I'll make them. I've got some bronze bushing material here. We'll just cut some new ones, put them in there. So anyway, we'll bring you back once we start welding it, and then we'll go from there. So we ended up making some bushings for the Pecan project. We tried to go through Caterpillar, get some bushings. They didn't really have anything that would work. I ordered some through them, but they came in the complete wrong size. So those went back, and we're just going to make some of our own here, which is not a problem, but it is when you're short on time, you know. So this one, I still got to clean up this end. So you bored it out, chamfered that in, and just parted it off. I'm going to bore this side out, finish this end, and then we'll clean these up. But yeah, so I got 2 that I needed from them. Needed 4, but you know, we got to do what we got to do. So it looks like we're going to be working some overtime to try to get this machine done. But such is the life. If you want to work on machinery, this kind of shit happens all the time. So, the joy. So that's basically all we're doing here is we're going to be drilling this out to the size that I can fit my boring bar, and then I'll stick the boring bar on there, and then bore it out to these ones are 2.5 inch ID, 3-inch OD. A little hard with stuff. So anyway, I'll bring you back when we get a little closer. I'll probably go weld the ear on tonight, just so we have less to do. Saturday, I got a job I got to do, kind of about 2 hours away tomorrow, so this job's gonna have to be kind of put on hold for now. but we'll get as much as we can done tonight. So I'll probably video some of that welding process tonight. So anyway, I'll bring you back. Alright, well, we got some gorgeous weather today. You can see, I don't know if you can see that, but it's hailing. And I'm in here getting this guy welded up. So this is our new piece. We're gonna weld that in there. Sorry for the lighting. Pretty dimly lit corridor in here, or this barn. But yeah, it fits in there real nice. I just got the clamp on there holding it. So yeah, I'm just getting the flux core put together now. We're actually going to do dual shield on this, some Lincoln Ultra Core, and it's a 1/16 wire. So we'll run this. I think what I'm going to do is get it all tacked in place, and then we'll do a weld prep. I'll gouge this plate. I ran out of acetylene in my torch, so I can't torch cut it. And welding supplier's already closed for the day. So that's where we're at. There's, you know, more ways to skin a cat than one, so we'll get her glued on there, get her heated up, and then yeah, and then we'll come back Saturday and we'll line bore these out. So I made this 2 1/4, so my bar will fit through. And then there's actually this is a brass bushing in here. If you can't really tell, but yeah, there's a brass bushing there. We made some new steel bushings, so we'll cut these out to 3" or just under, like it'll be like what is it, 2.95 or something like that. Well, 995. So we'll have a little bit of a crush on the bearings, the bushings, when we push them in. And yeah, so we'll bring you back once we start welding on it. Alright, so we're done welding this on. I forgot my camera mount, so as we squared it up, glued it on. Everything's got 3 passes on it, beveled the plates. What I did was I ended up tacking it here and then gouging it to create a bevel, and then it got 4 passes, no, actually 5 passes on the front of 16th dual shield, and everything else got 3. So looks good. So what we'll do now, what we have left is we've got to come back and line bore these and these. We got to open this up. I left this intentionally small, so all we got to do is open it up to the final bore. The other side, we're gonna have to get that bushing out first, then do a pre-cut, weld it up. That's probably going to take 2 or 3 passes on that one, and then bore it back down. And then these ones, I think there might be a bushing in here. Not quite sure. Nobody really knows. But we'll probably, kind of sort of looks like it in there, if you could see. Yeah, kind of looks like there's a bushing in there. But if there is, we'll knock those out, then weld it, and bore it back down to size, to the proper size. And don't worry about this thing. They made some modifications to fit a different machine when they first had it, and then they got rid of the other machine, So they cut these off, these pin bosses here, and then just have been using it with the standard eyes. So, yeah. Should be ready to go. Alrighty, YouTube, so this is where we're at. I machined these out last night. This side was actually pretty messed up. There was once I pulled the bearing, the original bearing, which was a short bearing, we pulled it out. There was another, looked like a bearing had exploded underneath it. It was all ground into the material, so we had to cut this one out quite large to get underneath it and get back to fresh metal. So now we're welding it up. We've got probably 3 passes on this side. And then I tried to cut this one out to the right side last night at about 9 o'clock last night and overcut it by about 20 thou. So yeah, my mistake. Well, you don't try to do it too late at night. So we got to put 1 pass on this and then cut it back. No big deal. It's all metal. It'll all go back. So we'll do that next. I'll put 2 passes on this. We'll put 1 here, and then I'll cut this again because you don't want to stack too many passes on top of each other. So we'll cut this, and then we'll put 1 more weld pass on it, get it to the right side, and then we'll go ahead and cut them. And then we still got to do the front bores. We've got to cut those, open them up to accept the bushing. So we got quite a bit to do on this Sunday, but we got to do it. The customer wants their machine back up and running. This machine's actually on rent, so it's actually needs to be working. So got to get her done. It's just kind of this long process now of just letting the machine do its thing and kind of babysitting it. So, and I think I've got the Rona. You know, I'm pretty sick. Last few days, kind of struggling through. Doesn't help. It's windy and cold out here, but it is what it is. Got to get it done. Alrighty, YouTube. This is going to be the final on this. So it's all done. We actually made some new pins for this as well. The old pins were about 20 thou messed up, you know, and there were some big gouges and stuff in them. So I just went ahead and made some new pins for this. These are, I want to say 1040. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look at my quote of what steel was used for these, but it's pin stock. So what we ended up doing, we just bored this one, welded it, and then bored it back. We didn't bush this one. This one we did. We put bushings in it, and then we just tacked them in. I machined these bushings out of the same material. You know, the Caterpillar didn't have bushings the right size for this in stock. It was like a 3-week lead time. So we ended up making some bushings for it. Pressed them in. Real nice fit. Did about a 5 thou crush on them. And got them in there. And then just tacked them just to be sure. But yeah. We ended up threading these just right now at the shop. Can't really see that, but yeah, we just went with 1.5 inch by 6 inch or by 6 threads per inch on both of these. That way it's the same Same socket for both, make it easy. So yeah, turned out good. New ears in there. Looks good, looks like factory. It doesn't have this big bevel on it, which isn't necessary. You know, I just kind of chamfered the edge with the grinder a little bit, but yeah, came out pretty good. Even got that bend in. That's actually matched up perfect, so. All right, on to the next one. Like and subscribe, guys.